Hi, this is Steve Paranto here, pickleball ambassador for the city of Hillsboro, Oregon. And I would like to explain a possible rating system that could be the future of what we use in pickleball. This is an idea of a friend of mine, Paul Porch, another senior player in our area. And he comes from mathematics. He was a professor at a college in mathematics and understands the statistics of this. He also was a table tennis player. We're going to talk about using the table tennis system, and they also use this in chess. So lately I've been explaining this system to lots of people at tournaments, one by one, and this discussion has been brought up a lot on Facebook and on the social media, and I thought I would put this out on YouTube so more people could see it, and then maybe this idea could eventually happen in my lifetime. I'm going to explain what we have now, and then I'll explain what we could go to and the benefits of this. Right now we have a rating system that is 2.5 to 5. And it's been a good rating system to get us this far, but it's really become outdated, and I'll talk about that in a second. Problems with this rating system, it's just not very accurate. A 4-0 player could play another 4-0 player, and it could not even be a close match. It just isn't defined enough as far as how good people are with this other system I'll talk about. You'll be playing people much closer to your level, regardless of age, too. It's regional. Our rating system we have now is really very regional. A 4-0 in one area of the country could look a lot different than a 4-0 in another part of the country. And we want to take care of that, too. Right now, our rating system, it takes way too long for anybody to change levels. We have people in our area that are winning or always medaling at a certain level and don't get moved up for a year and a half. Then when they do get moved up, then they have a very hard time at the next level if they happen to be the bottom half of one of those levels. That's another problem. To get rated in our rating system, it's pretty subjective. It's just like people saying, well, I think they belong here, which is a good start. And it would be a way that even the new rating system I'm talking about would probably start you out, but it would self-correct much quicker than what we have now. It does not self-correct. It takes too long to switch levels. Like I was saying, the lower half of a particular level right now really can't compete. If you're on the bottom half of a 3-0 level, the bottom half of a 4-0, a bottom half of a 5-0 like my senior partner and I are it's very, very difficult to compete in tournaments. If you've noticed, the same people probably in your region also are always medaling at their particular level because they happen to be the top half of that level. You're limited on partners you can choose with the system we currently have. For instance, if someone just gets moved up to a 4-0 and their partner's a 3-5, they don't want to partner with that person anymore because they know they're going to play other teams with 2 4-0s. The rating system I'm going to talk about would help solve a lot of that. So the big solution would be a rating system similar to what table tennis and chess use. And that system goes 0 through 3,000. And the great thing about this system, it's always changing. After every match you play, your rating would slightly go up or slightly go down depending on who you beat and who you lost to. If you lose to someone ranked quite a bit higher than you, nothing very much happens to your rating. On the other hand, theirs would slightly go down because they lost to a person they weren't supposed to lose to. So it's kind of fun because the rating system would constantly be changing. This would all be entered via the computer. I'm going to move this just a little bit. So the ratings would change constantly, which would make it a lot of fun for people to monitor how they are doing, and they'd probably also be monitoring how their friends are doing. It'd be fun. I know I've played table tennis tournaments like this, and it was exciting to see if you could improve, or maybe some weeks you didn't, maybe even you got worse, but you wanted to track your level that you're at. It would be completely objective. The computer would decide, based on statistics, where your rating went, instead of just people saying, well, I think they're a 4-0, they're a 4-5. This system would utilize what you know of as the 6 degrees of separation, which would help make the ratings the same all across the nation or all across other nations, if you know the way the sport's growing. because somebody has played somebody who's played somebody. And so that would make the ratings more consistent across a large population. The new ratings would be available after every tournament. So you would look it up on a website and see how you did, instead of just constantly staying stagnant at the level that you're at. Most people just stay at the same level for a long, long, long time, maybe never move. Benefits of this, way more accurate to have 0 to 3,000. Now, most table tennis players, I'm sure they'd be the same for pickleball. They range usually anywhere from 500 to a very top player would be a 2,500. You could partner with anybody you wanted to. Let's say you wanted to partner with your husband or wife or your best friend. Right now you can't because they're at a different level than you. Well, in this system, you would combine your rating with their rating. Now, there would have to be a formula made that more heavily weights the weaker player because, as you know, in pickleball, we do isolate the weaker player. But a formula could be devised. In fact, it probably could be accurately devised because we already have all this information out there for I don't know how many years of who's beat who. And with different partners, too. It won't be easy, but it is very possible. With this system, it would automatically seed all the teams. So forget 2.5 to 5.0 ratings. You go to a tournament, there's 64, for instance, 64 men's doubles teams entered in the tournament. Well, the top 16 could be in this bracket. The next 16 could be in the next bracket, and so on. Or you could go 8, 8, 8. And it would automatically seed those teams by using the formula we've talked about. And someone has to devise that formula. And I know that Paul Porch has a lot of good ideas on what that should be, using statistics. And he's got a lot of things figured out through statistics. Great thing about this, so my senior partner and I, right now, we don't want to play open or skill tournaments at our level anymore. We're pushing 60. I'm 60 in a couple of weeks. We go play a skill tournament. We're playing against Wes Gabrielson, Enrique, Curtis Campbell, Timothy Nelsons, those people of the Northwest. That's who we are in with right now. With this kind of tournament, maybe the smaller tournaments, we would still maybe be in that bracket. But other tournaments, a lot of people are there, we'd be in the next bracket, lower than that. So we'd have a chance. At least we'd enter more tournaments. Right now, we only want to enter senior tournaments. This system self-corrects quickly. If you get put into the wrong, let's say you're a very beginner, you haven't been given a rating yet. In table tennis, when I first started, they gave me a number like around 700, put me at a table with those people. So that week I was winning, and then winning. Now it's moved me up to a level that I'm competing at very closely. So it self-corrects fast. A player with a 1,300 rating in Oregon would be the same approximate skill level as a 1,300 ranked player in Nebraska. A 1,300 player ranked 1,300 that's 70 years old would be just about the same, hopefully the same, as a 1,300 player that's 24. An example of this is I was playing a table tennis tournament where this old little guy walked into the tournament and he told us his rating, and we thought, oh, that guy thinks he's rated that high. Oh, that's too bad. He's going to have to play at the top table, and he proceeded to win the tournament. So it wasn't a gigantic tournament. This guy wouldn't beat the top young players in the world, but he was beating a lot of young players. They were just not the top-ranked players. So everybody could compete with everyone with this system. And I talk about that right there. All this information is already available on tournaments.com. So this information is out there for us to gain the statistics from to make an accurate system. This is also a moneymaker. Can you imagine how many people are going to check their ratings after every tournament? So this website's going to have a lot of hits. They're also going to be checking your friends' ratings, aren't you? And your opponents before a tournament. So this website's going to get a lot of hits, which means advertisers would be interested. So what needs to be done for us to have this happen? Well, somebody has to write a program, so that means somebody out there, maybe I'm talking to you right now, you're an avid pickleball player and you also have the skills to write this kind of program. So I guess I'm talking to you right now. In our area, we have a couple of young gentlemen that could probably do this too, but you know, it's going to take some work. Obstacles for this. You're always going to have obstacles when you make a change, and the number one obstacle is there's that certain amount of people who hate change. No matter what, they don't want a change to happen. It might be some of the top 5-0 players don't want things to change at all. Or it might even be some lower 5-0s that just like to say, I'm a 5-0 player. Well, with this system, you would have a much more accurate system. We'd actually know who the top 100 players in the world are. Wouldn't that be fun to know? Try to crack the top 100 or whatever you would try to improve. So again, some people just don't like change, and you always have to overcome that. Probably the biggest challenge is how are we going to figure out this formula when we combine people together? How do you get a doubles rating? But I know it can be done, because even if you sit around with 4 or 5 people, you could pretty much accurately, at least closely, rate somebody 0 to 3,000. If we could do it, the statistics could do it that much better. So it could be done. By the way, singles would be simple to do this, because that's just head-to-head, who's beat who. A singles rating would not be difficult. Doubles rating, like I said, that is harder. Another obstacle, I hope this isn't an obstacle, I hope the USAPA helps, but they can be an obstacle. They can do things like, well, let's do a survey. Well, how long does that take? And what is the survey doesn't educate people on possibilities of a change. It's just a survey, and that wouldn't help much. But so that's why I want to get this information out there. I hope the USAPA helps. I hope somebody's out there that could write a program, and I hope to see everybody on the pickleball courts. And let me know what you think about all this information, and I'll see you on the courts. Bye.